If you already played Overwatch, you might say good job Genji, or maybe thank you for the boost Anna, but if you haven't, it probably looks a little more like this to you. Yeah, right here. And because of that, I'll be making a video telling you guys how my opinion changed about Overwatch. Now, first of all, let's start out with the heroes. As you can see right here, we got the perfect setups of 2 damage dealers, we got 2 support players and 2 tanks. So they're just like general roles, everyone also does damage and can sometimes heal or do something similar to some degree, because despite being a shooter at its core, Overwatch is more of a team-based game, meaning that your abilities that you have on E, on Shift, or your ultimate abilities on Q that you build up are more important than just your usual I can shoot there, I can shoot there. So right here you can see all the heroes that are in the game. You got the offensive heroes, the defensive heroes, you got the tank players and the support players. Support players, they usually heal, tank players, they usually are able to eat lots of damage because they got so much health, and then the offensive and defensive heroes, they're more there to, well, just deal lots of damage. However, they're like squishy characters, so they die rather quickly. In this scenario, I'll be playing Genji. It's kind of the I watch too much anime character because he's a cyborg ninja. So in the beginning I said we got the perfect team composition by having 2 support players, 2 tanks and 2 damage dealers, meaning that equally all of us will be valuable to some degree. There's not one of them kind of overblowing the other side, because you always want to balance your team rightfully so that you get enough healing. However, you also got enough like health combined to push into the side, and you also want to be able to do enough damage. And again, each role can kind of do something of another one to some extent in some scenarios. But again, it all really depends on kind of what hero you're picking. So let's talk a little bit about the game modes now. So in general, the game modes in Overwatch are rather simply, they're not very complicated. So you got a usual killing of the hill, which just means there's a point in the middle of the map. Both teams are just running towards it and trying to contest it as long as possible in order to get to 100% first, and then the guy, or better said the team who gets to 100% first wins the game. Now there are slight variations of that, so there are 3 modes, that's the first one. The second one is basically the same, however you got 2 points this time. And you got defenders and attackers, it's basically like Russian battlefield. First of all, the attackers want to take the first point, while defenders have to defend it. As soon as they got it, they have to, again, the defenders have to fall back, and the attackers will advance to the next point. Now, the third mode is the one that I'm playing right now. Essentially, you still got a point, you either have to attack or defend it. If you manage to attack it and get the point, you'll have some sort of car spawning, which is called a payload, and you just gotta push that one by being remotely close to it to certain checkpoints. Again, it kind of plays like Russian battlefield for the most part. And that's basically the 3 modes that you have in Overwatch. Another thing is that they're kind of played in the same way as in Counter-Strike, meaning that first of all, you're starting on one side in the first half, for example playing the attacker side, and then after you've done that, you'll be switching over to the defensive side, and you're doing that afterwards. Again, you can also tie by having the same points, so kind of the same distance, and that means then again that there will be a kind of a tie match, a quick replay after that, where you only play with the time that has been left over from your previous match, so it's getting really tense. And I also like that the matches are a little shorter than in Counter-Strike, that's also another plus point for me. And you can also see your SR, meaning your elo points kind of, so you no guessing if I did something good or wrong or something like that. You will definitely see if you're going to rank up or down. Now let's talk about the gameplay. So as you can see on the bottom of the screen, I just got my ultimate ready. The ultimate is basically your super ability. It has a lot of cooldown because you first gotta build it up all the way to 100% by doing damage, doing healing, just pretty much everything in the game can build it up. And by that you can unleash a superpower for a short period of time, and this can also help you a lot. So for example right here I also got different abilities. My usual attack is the left click, which I just throw 3 shurikens in a straight line. I can also do the right click in order to throw 3 of them in kind of in a cone. Then I also got 2 abilities. So on E, I can actually deflect incoming projectiles, and by aiming where I'm aiming with my crosshair, I'll actually deflect the bullets or projectiles back to that position. And then with my shift, as you just saw, I kind of can dash through enemies and also damage them. So Genji is a very mobile character, which really includes lots of movement besides only the usual aim. I also got my ultimate ready, meaning that every now and then in the game I'm able to do lots more damage, which you'll see later, or well, in the beginning of the game. Now let's talk about the misconceptions and how my view of the game changed. So first of all, when I first saw that Overwatch was released or just announced with Blizzard, I was like, okay, Blizzard is making a shooter, that's interesting, I guess. And to be honest, first of all, I really like the game wasn't really all that appealing to me. Just overall, the visuals felt a little cartoony. I just felt like the game was a little too well, casual overall. At least that's what it looked like to me. However, I can assure you, after having played it for about a week now, it's definitely very competitive. The team aspect is really playing a big role, also being able to, well, properly play your character or switch characters and to use your abilities to your full extent. There's just so many things that you have to kind of keep in mind and that you have to learn. So there's really lots of depth, especially if you played like Team Fortress 2 or maybe World of Warcraft, you know kind of what I'm talking about. So it might look very confusing. I also felt like it's not very appealing to watch if you haven't played the game yet, because you do not know what's going on. But as soon as you've played it, you understand and realize, okay, he's doing this and he's doing that. So this was quite awesome. And I can only recommend to you guys, especially if it's like a free weekend again, to give it a try it out, even if you do not like the visuals all that much, same as I did. I'm really loving the game right now. Also, this right here was an example of one of my placement matches. So if you want to know my rank, stay tuned for another video if you're interested in more Overwatch content it is. If not, then just let me know in the comment section down below. But I think it's pretty much all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and luckySkillFaker out.